training in 5 courses.
Okay.
That is welding, plumbing, automotive mechanics, fashion and design, and electrical systems and installations. We take on students from senior 4, whereas there are also students who have attended skills at a lower level, that is the skills development centers. They also join together with the senior 4. You asked Dr. You talked about one of the challenges we face, in that there are few Ugandans who appreciate vocational training. I think the main reason is ignorance, I can't say. Because vocational training simply means job training. Whether you have passed through the other academic, what do you call academic, and then us who are in this line of TVET,
Yes.
the end goal is to have your child or daughter acquire a job.
Sure.
And me, I feel the best way to acquire a job is by identifying your child's path or passion, and this person grows professionally right from the lower stage. And the other beauty about it is that we train applied science and skills. We don't demand the whole physics and mathematics. I'm not saying the other line is not bad, because it is the line I also went through. But when I compare now the two,
Yes.
I really feel and advise that when you identify your child's passion early, bring your child to vocational training so that he grows professionally in his field until when he acquires.
At what age can someone bring their child for?
After P7, we have skills development centers. When they go there, they train for 3 years, and then afterwards they can come to vocational training institutes. Or you can choose to bring him or her after senior 4 and joins direct the VTIs.
So someone can choose not to go through senior 4 immediately after P7?
Yes.
They go through the skills development center?
Yes.
And then join a vocational institute?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they grow like that, as Doctor explained. So every job that one wishes to be, even journalists,
Yes.
we have training centers where somebody joins and gets a certificate in journalism, then continues to a diploma, and later on a bachelor's. And I feel this one will be more trained compared to the one who passed direct after A level. If I may ask a question, in case you are looking for an engineer, a civil engineer, you have your house.
Yes.
You want it to be, you have land and you want it to be, to construct a house there.
Yes.
Which engineer will you select? There is this one who finished senior 4, did 2 years certificate, went for an internship somewhere, maybe with ROCO, went back for a college training, diploma, maybe went somewhere for training, then later on has done his bachelor's. He has a degree. And then there's this one who passed higher PCM, went and did a bachelor's 4 years, Makerere Chambo, wherever, has qualified. The 2 engineers are there.
Yeah.
Whom will you select to construct your house?
The one definitely that went through the vocational.
Why?
institute. Because I believe they've been hands-on. I'll be looking at the experience they've really had.
Yeah.
Because construction is practical, engineering is practical more than just
Theory.
someone doing theory.
Exactly. So that's one of the advantages for those who choose to join TVET. So every job, whether biotechnology, health, the best doctor for me I will choose is the doctor who started as a nurse.
Wow.
Later on went and did a diploma, maybe in clinical medicine, and perhaps has done a bachelor's in something. Of course, by the time he completes his degree or she completes the degree, she will really be very, very more professional. I don't say the other ones are not. They are also skilled with time. But at least this one, by the time she or he acquires that high level of bachelor's, he will really be very competent.
Yeah.
The other good reason is that we don't demand a lot of physics and mathematics. We teach applied technology and science while we are training them. For example, the automotive mechanics.
Yes.
We have mechanics, of course, in physics. So it will come as a theory as they are at Ntinda, and as they grow, it keeps on, and they understand it better because they are applying it. When we talk of acceleration, force, and all that, they understand it. That's why they say that we take everybody. It's not that we take those who have failed, but we can transform them to be good scientists because they will be understanding the science and technology because they're applying it as they are doing the practice. So at the end of it, they learn the physics. We get them when they have not done well physics, but then they pass with distinctions and we wonder. But just because they are seeing the acceleration, the forces and all that, they are calculating what they are seeing. So by the time they complete, they are really good. And they do the mathematics as well. So I really, and you see, I'm sorry to talk about this, but the president really advocates for TVET. He himself is...
You don't have to be sorry.
He himself, he's not an engineer,
Yes.
but he has traveled, he has benchmarked
He
in
knows the
Korea
importance
and Japan and all that. And it is the reverse when you compare to Uganda. If you compare the levels of those developed countries, especially those who are high in technology, 80% go to the TVET line, 20% go to the academics. And those who go to academics are going to be in future researchers. But the ones who are going to work in the industries go to vocational training. German, Japan, Korea, that's what they do. But in Uganda, it is the reverse. So that's why he said we get few students because of ignorance. But I believe with time, parents will understand. Because most parents want their children to be engineers, to be doctors, to be whatever you want. So why don't you start your line early so that you become more competent and you are sure of what you are going to be in future.
Good. Let's talk about your enrollment.
At Ntinda, we have about 500 students. We have we enroll 30 students per group, and because we have 5 courses, we for example each year, on average, if we have 30, those are 150 students per year.
Yes.
And that is 300. But we also 300 per session. We have day and evening session. So our capacity is 600. But when you add on the short courses, about 100 students, we would have a capacity of 700. But currently we have about 500 students.
Wow.
Yes.
What do you think can be done to actually increase on the numbers and encourage more young people into getting attracted to vocational institutes?
Continuous sensitization.
Are you doing so as Ntinda Vocational?
Yes, we are trying to move out. Social media, we also go out in secondary schools.
Oh, yes.
Slowly by slowly, we are talking to the students and parents, because both the parents and students should really understand where vocational training is taking them to.
Sure. Yeah, utilize U24 UBC also. It's a platform you can. This is the Youth Development and Education channel. So certainly we can be able to change the mindset of these young people. One question would be that in as far as the skills that you impart into these young people, is the job market ready for them, or they also just get skills that are not that marketable? And are there any, for example, partnerships that you're having with different companies that you have partnerships in, for example, training, but also for internships to make sure that these young people can get, first-hand skills, but also for those who can be able to get opportunities after school?
Yeah, we have a number of partners. We have signed memorandums of understanding with over 35 companies. But there are those that we have not signed MOUs with, but still we partner with them, starting with internships. Every year we have a period of internship where we place them, and thereafter some of them are retained, or others get employment in other companies, and some start employing themselves. We have those that have already established small companies for themselves. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Eddie.
Yes.
The issue of skilling, but looking at it in a broad perspective as a nation, like she was talking about what other countries are doing and how much they value skills. Do we value skilling that much? And from the side of the ministry, how much effort is being put to skilling and empowering these vocational institutes?
Yes, I would say there is an effort now, because if you look at, for example, the National Development Plan 3 and now to National Development Plan 4, the skilling agenda and the human capital development is having a very, very, very big space in ensuring that it is put on the top of whatever is being talked about in education. And I think that is the main reason when you go back to see the lower secondary curriculum, it is now hinged to the skills. They want all children in secondary at that level to integrate what they learn as a theory to practice. And if they do it very well, I am sure that is a very, very first step to interest the young people into the formal skills training and the mainstream skills training. The TVET policy and the TVET law is now taking it further, because we have been having one of the biggest challenge is the funding, has been the funding. And of course, government is putting in some fund, but it's not enough. And we have also development partners who have been coming to support TVET. But sometimes we see some duplication of doing so. Now in the council, there are going to be a skills development fund. Now whoever is going to support TVET, including the government funding, is going to put into this basket of funding, and therefore the institutions or whoever is skilling is going to compete for these funds, and they do the actual skilling in buying materials, in buying equipment, in ensuring that whoever is doing the delivery is doing the right thing. You know, that has also been a challenge, that we have institutions that are not doing actually their job. They train also theoretically. We want to say no to any institution that is training theoretically. There must be 70% practice. And to make 70% practice, you must have, first of all, motivated staff. So, and this staff must also be trained very well and experienced. And therefore, we would want to take only those who have worked, not only trained, but worked in industry. Now, to become a trainer, it will be a requirement that you have worked in industry a minimum of 5 years. And now this TVET Council is going also to license them. Every 3 years, a trainer in TVET is going to be registered and licensed to ensure that you upgrade, you upskill. There is continuous capacity development initiated by the institution, but more importantly, by yourself as a trainer. So if you don't do it, then we shall know that you're not interested in TVET, you are doing your other things. So it's going to be more of practice and practice than it has been before. And therefore, I want to thank government to do that. But more importantly, I can tell you, moderator, that our president has done this by ensuring that he enhances the salaries for all TVET trainers as scientists. Yes, this has put us another level,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore everyone who is there is comfortable and they should be able to do the right job.
Mm.
So there is no way to begin claiming that they are paid poorly. They are paid very well.
Mm-hmm.
Now what is lacking is the equipment and materials. But also I can tell you that many institutions now have been equipped. If you go to these centers of excellency, you want to see, visit UTC Bushenyi, visit UTC Ergon, actually you visit here VTI
Itinda.
at Itinda.
Yes.
You visit there, you will see
Mhm.
a university itself.
Oh.
I was in Chiliandongo. Many people would want to come and say, now we turn this one into a university. I told them, why? We need lower cadre technicians.
Yes.
Not everyone should be actually an engineer, because an engineer will need not less than 7 people to supervise, who are technicians.
Oh.
Now, actually we have what we call an inverted skills training, where we have many degree holders with less what? Technicians.
Wow.
So who will supervise the other?
Mm-hmm.
So what we are saying is that these lower institutions must also, all of them, be facilitated. Now, the skills development centers are the ones that are a little bit lacking. Government is planning to have a project that is going to improve them and enhance them. And actually, we have now a project that is starting with the ones at Inde, in Majokoro, and another one in Omogo, and in Terego district, and another one in Isinjio. So we are going to start like that, and the government is doing their part. Now it is now you, the public, to show interest in these programs, in these courses. Otherwise, government is doing its role. And as she said, that's why actually we are here, to continue giving you information, continue mobilizing, continue awareness, such that you take up these programs as your very own, for your future, for your employment, for enterprise growth, for economic growth. It is hinged on TVET.
Okay.
Yes.
Talk about the merging of DIT. Most people might not be aware of that. And then the now UVTAB.
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 Yes.
And then you talked about the council.
Yes.
So if you can kindly break down those three for people to understand.
Okay, thank you so much, moderator. The TVET law, which was assented to by the president in January, and it commenced on the 15th March 2025, has brought a lot of changes. And these changes are actually reforms that are intending to make TVET more programmatic and more important to the country. So we found that there were duplication of work, especially on the assessment bodies. And DIT was assessing, and UBTEB, they were also assessing. So the law now merges both of them to form what is known now as UVTAB, is Uganda Vocational Technical Assessment Board. So it is going to do both the assessment for the informal and the formal. So what DIT was doing is now going to be done at UVTAB. Nothing much has changed. It is only mainstreaming the system to ensure that it is one center for assessment.
Okay.
Yes. Now, when we go to TVET Council, those who saw last week, on Thursday, on the 3rd of July this year, the TVET Council was inaugurated by Mama, the Minister for Education and Sports.
Yes.
And we are happy and glad to receive Mama Aren Kajina as the TVET Council chairperson.
Oh.
Yes, and therefore she's going to lead a system of training and skills training that is going to see all the changes that are within the law. And one that I should not miss is the boards. Also the boards and the councils that have been governing TVET institutions were also put aside, with now to create a new boards with a new system which creates employers as the lead. We want to involve the employers to ensure that they take up this responsibility. It's not a responsibility of government alone, but it is a responsibility of all Ugandans, but more especially the employers, because the employers are the one to determine what type of skill do you need, what type of skills do you demand, because you know there has been a mismatch of the people we train and those that are needed in the world of work. So we want to close this gap by involving the employers into the curriculum development, first of all, but also into the management. So this law is giving 66% of the management of the TVET system to be led by employers, and it is going to be called a TVET-led system, an employer TVET-led system. So this employer-led system is generally demanding that institutions train, impart skills that are needed by the employers. That's the need.
Okay.
And that is what is going to happen. So all boards, all councils must now be planning to be renewed or to use the new you see, that time they were using constituencies. They were using constituencies. You say, would say, we want to, as it, from local government.
Yes.
Then they would say, we need two from the foundation body. We need two from the trainers. We need no. Now those things are being put aside. What we need is somebody who is involved in skills, is an employer or has been an employer and is very grounded in the skills development.
Oh.
So those are the people we need. Apart from the 6, and only one will come from the lower local government, just to put the also the issues that come from government into the council and boards.
Okay.
So that is what is happening at TVET.
Yes.
We are glad that these reforms are being made at this time when we are there to support the system and ensure that every Ugandan now is involved in skills training, but also participate, but also love it, like it, because we have been training using the general system. Where has it taken us? To unemployment. Now let us try the TVET system and see where it is taking us.
And you see, you already have examples to look at.
Yes.
I want you to look at what, for example, the furniture industry is doing for young people, but also look at, for example, welding and stuff. You don't know how much young people have transformed themselves, and I'll give a few examples of young people that are doing well. There's a young man called Nsambya Furniture. He's called Ivan too, but he has his company as Nsambya Furniture. Very, very young person, but he's just an example. I have very many other that I've interacted with. I've gone and visited, transformed their lives fully, and if you see the establishments that they've been able to make just because they attained the skill. And certainly if you're talking about combating unemployment, then Uganda is a virgin country in terms of opportunities, and all we need is for our people want to have the skills that can help them to do their own things, but also skills that are employable. Madam Harriet, if we are to turn around things and have a magic bullet, if I can say, in transforming Uganda economically, how important is skills development?
Of course, skills development is very important in this way because, as Doctor has mentioned, it will create jobs for the youths, and due to the productivity, our economy will also change. It's majorly about more of creation of jobs.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We come to the event that we are here basically to talk about, the World Youth Skills Day. Kindly, Eddie, if you can tell us about that day, what exactly is it about and when does it happen?
Oh yes, in the year 2014, the UN Council resolved that there must be space for the youth and promote skills development. And because of that, they put aside the day of 15th July every year to celebrate the promotion that has been done by every country in terms of imparting skills, not only for the youth, but for the whole country, for everyone that needs those skills. And these skills we have already been mentioned. Their intention, the measure intended to curb down unemployment, because that has been and is by still is a biggest challenge for this country and all developing countries. So those skills have been developed in this country and we are developing them, and that's why you have had the expansion and the change of law and all those reforms. But also for the growth of our enterprises. Every enterprise that do not have skilled people cannot grow, cannot develop, cannot improve, cannot increase on their income. It is the skills, the innovations, the change of things to better, to look different, that will cause every enterprise to grow. And that is the intention, to ensure that our enterprises, our businesses are growing. And also, importantly, that when this is done, productivity improves. When productivity improves, there are many sales that will come, and people will pay taxes, and therefore the economy of the country will grow. Now, this country's economy is hinged on the skills development. And I can tell you, if Ugandans do not take it to themselves to grow into their skills, they should think of maybe leaving this country, because there is nothing that is going to improve. And I am generally now thinking, for example, I see a lot of development of buildings. Many people are investing there. Why are they not investing in manufacturing? Why are they putting all the money in buildings? Buildings are very good, but if you went into analysis of what brings more in terms of income, I can tell you that manufacturing would be the best, because you produce a product, that product can not only be sold here, it can be sold internationally. You see? So when you sell products that have reached that international level, then you're able to sell as much as possible. I was in Korea, they were saying these phones, the Samsung phones, they have 50 55% of the economy sales of the whole world.
Wow.
You see? So if you build a building in Chanja here where you have so high building, can it sell also to the international world to that extent?
Certainly not.
So why are Ugandans, almost everyone who has money is investing in
real estate?
Yeah, real estate. But the money they put in, I don't know where they're getting this money. If it is a genuine money, I wouldn't be investing it there.
Wow.
Yes, because the rate of return is very low.
Maybe, like you say, money is just being kept there.
And maybe, moderator, also about Youth Skills Day.
Yes.
There is also skills exhibition on Saturday where students and industries come and exhibit the products they have.
Oh.
And of course they also sell sometimes. Also on Saturday there is skills competition, and skills competition motivates both the trainers and also the learners.
Wow.
And we invite industries to come and see what is being exhibited, and sometimes, I mean, to see the exhibition as well as the skills competition. And sometimes industries identify good skills and students get jobs.
Wow.
It is really a very nice event, and I would like to call upon all Ugandans, once such events are there, please come and see what is being exhibited and how the students are also competing in the products that have been put on Saturday.
Okay.
Yes, additionally, moderator, this World Youth Skills Day is going to be celebrated in Uganda on the 15th and 16th. We are going to be at President's office at the conference hall.
Okay.
And we have invited all internationals, organizations that are involved in skilling. And it is also aligning with the International Education Day.
Oh.
You remember also UN in 2018 put aside an International Education Day, and in Uganda we celebrated it on the 29th of April.
Okay.
And you remember the President and Mama were there in Kororo, there was an exhibition and so forth and so on. So we have post events for this program, and the post events include the discussion of how can we promote TVET, how can we ensure that funding is available for TVET, how can we ensure that innovation takes a center stage in TVET. All this is going to be discussed in that conference at the conference hall at the President's office on the 15th and the 16th. So we invite everyone who is able to come, and also ask you to continue informing other people that are involved in this program to be present, and we show our ideas. Come with your ideas on how we can promote TVET in this country. I want to thank you so much for that.
Okay.
Yes.
Talk about on the issue of encouraging more young people to take up vocational institute training. The issue of affordability. What is being done, or actually how affordable are your courses that very many of these young people, the vulnerable ones, can be able to also access the training?
Well, vocational training is not cheap because they have to practice. If they don't practice, as Doctor said, they will not learn. So the issue of training materials raises the fees a little bit. Because training materials for vocational training are really, really expensive. Say, for example, a welder, the sheets, we have to buy those sheets, we have to buy the gas and all that. However, it is relatively not so expensive compared to what you are going to get out of it.
Yeah, true.
And we have slots for government sponsorship. Those who apply early, they have that opportunity to be sponsored by government. Every institution has 100 students that are being sponsored by government. We also have female scholarships were introduced, and those who apply in those male-dominated courses
Yeah.
obtain 100% scholarship.
Oh.
But the fees for private students at Intinda is about 850,000 per term without boarding, because
Okay.
we don't have boarding facilities.
Mhm.
But as in other institutions, they can go up to 700, because as you move in other
Further.
districts, you find that some costs are like food,
Yes, it's a
Food.
relatively cheap.
and they have boarding facilities.
Mhm.
So for other institutions, I think on average it is about 600, 700,000 per term,
Okay.
which is really worth it compared to our partners in the other line of academics,
Yes.
where you hear 2 million per term, 3 million and all that.
Actually,
Yes.
secondary.
Yes, our partners in A level.
Yeah.
So you join vocational training, it is relatively cheap and you can afford it.
Mhm.
Yes.
Eddie, as we come near to the conclusion of the show,
Yes.
what needs to be done as a country to promote TVET?
Yes, the first thing is to put the system right, which now the Act is going to do. And now the next thing is the funding. We need the funds that are necessary to promote TVET. But also awareness, as she said, many people are not aware that these programs exist. They are not aware that it is very important if, for example, you chose to be an engineer, to start at the early age. Why would you want to be trained as an engineer at the age of 16 when you would be one at the age of 12? Why? It doesn't give much sense. So what I can say is that government has put in and should continue to put in more. The people who are going to be elected, actually I want to urge you voters to elect people who are going to support TVET, because it is the TVET that is going to take us far from where we are to where we would want to go. And that alone is going to become, as you said, a game changer, a bullet that is going to, you know, Uganda has a very big ambition. In this 5 years, from 2025 to 2030, Uganda wants to somersault 10 times. Can you imagine? From $1,000 per capita income to 5,000.
Wow.
So to achieve that, everyone must be innovative. And to become more innovative, you must know what you are in, and therefore do it practically. So join the practice as early as possible. Actually, as she said, other countries, people begin innovation at the nursery level. I was in Korea, I saw training about innovation at the nursery and primary level. So innovation, actually, even this the theme for this year's World Youth Skills Day is about AI, promoting AI and digital skills. Now, those skills cannot be gained just by going through general education. No, it is in the TVET system that you'll gain those skills, and now you'll be able to become what you want. To become what you want. So that is what I can appeal to Ugandans and to government to promote wherever they are. Even in the campaigns, the most agenda should be TVET skills, should be innovation, should be seeing that everyone is able to earn a living through these skills.
How are these young people that get the skills from you know, these institutions supported? As we said that TVET is expensive. having these skills and the equipment to use is a bit expensive. What is being done to make sure that as they get done with their studies, they are supported to be able to do startups?
Okay, in some instances, some institutions support on giving out to startups, especially the NGOs, the development partners
Okay.
are doing that. But I can tell you that that is not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is the competence. Is this somebody confident in what is able to develop? Can you produce a product that can be sellable? Then you get the funding, you get partnerships,
Sure.
you get people to support you. So the whole issue is not about the lack of funding, the lack of it is the lack of the skills. What are you able to do? But you know, in our current system, we are teaching on what we can be able to remember, what we can be able to know. Now we want to move from that to the extent of what are you able to do. That's it. If you're able to do something, it's easy to attract funds. Government is giving $1 million for PDM projects. Whom are they giving it to? Many people are not trained.
Sure.
They give it to them. You cannot extract where the money went. The president is there moving to see where this money went. But I can tell you, the homes he's going to is to they were to do families.
Those ones who have something to show.
Not
Harriet,
the ones who took 1 million.
Harriet,
Yes,
for parents and also for students who think that for someone to go to a vocational institute, you must have not performed well. Like parents see it as the last option. My child, omwana wange teyakoze bulungi. Ndowooza tumutwaleko mu technical.
Tetufaayo.
So-
We receive them.
But to change the perception that even the cream de la cream from the secondary schools, from the primary at P7, if you can encourage parents, and why it is important actually to have those students in vocational institutions.
We do encourage parents, and we get also the cream. I'm not saying that we don't get them, but the percentage is small.
Okay.
I can say maybe about, it has increased a bit, about 40% now, but the other 60% are those that feel that because their children have failed, then they come to vocational training. First, when we receive them, we need to change their attitude, because they have come just because they failed to go to A level, and so they don't come with the interest.
Wow.
We really go through a lot to change their attitude. But after like 2 terms, they do appreciate, and even they say it was a blessing that I failed, so I ended up in vocational training, because they see the future.
Yeah.
And some parents, they compare with those that they have brought and those that went to A level. And then like after 2 years or 3 years, they come saying, we regret, I wish we had brought all of them here.
Wow.
And we also have parents, guardians who are supporting relatives, especially those who lost their parents. Those ones are also very difficult, because you find he or she got a 1st grade and 2nd grade, and she says, my dad passed, and that's why I'm being taken to vocational training. So it also goes through a lot, but later on we counsel them, we guide them, and as they are studying, they see that they are really on the right track, and they're like, oh, I'm going to be an engineer. I never dreamt of it.
Yeah.
So they really love it, and by the time they finish, they are our really good students and very disciplined,
Okay.
and ready to continue in their profession,
Yeah.
both academically and professionally. And good enough, now we have weekend programs, we have holiday programs. So when they finish the vocational training level, they really don't have to go back full time to colleges. There are institutions around Kampala here that offer weekend programs.
Wow.
So they opt to stay so that they can work while they are studying.
Wow,
Yes.
that's a good one.
So, Moderator, I want to add on that. For me, practically, my children have been performing well in this general education, but I take them to TVET institutions.
Wow.
When they have performed well in first grades.
Wow.
They go there, and my daughter has been at her school in fashion and design. But what I want to say is that I pity for well-to-do families that are taking the people they call, they are supporting. I'm supporting a relative, I take him to vocation or her,
Then
and
mine I
it's
take-
like punishing them, and they take theirs in the other path.
Yes, yes.
I pity for them because
But in the future, you'll find the other child more empowered.
exactly
More than your child.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
is like a home where you only want the maid to do all the core jobs, and you leave your children to do nothing,
Yeah.
and you think you're empowering them. I'm telling you, we are doing a very, very wrong thing by just ensuring that our children go into the general system, and then the people we help, we support, are the ones coming to TVET. You'll be surprised. when-
I'll give you an example. Someone did exactly the same.
Yes.
Took one of their sons for the wife they have now to a university, and they did accounting, and decided to take the other one to a vocational institute, and they did engineering. Now this one comes, he's working in a bank, but then there are issues in the bank here and there, and the other one, because of oil, they got an opportunity to be an engineer. They are in Hoima working.
Okay.
So now this gentleman is given a pickup, is given a lot, and
Is running into three times more.
exactly, and now someone is saying, I wish
wish.
I was able to take both my children.
Yes, so this program should tell them, should remind them that what they are doing is actually what they should have done to their very own.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
that's what I do for myself. So I want to implore others to join.
Yes.
And ask the children at either stage, after P7, join. After senior 4, join.
Yeah. It cannot keep us
TVET.
business as usual that it's a must. After primary you have to do O level, you have to do A level, then either diploma or go straight for a bachelor's. There are very many other ways you can be able to attain education. If you can, in 1 minute, give your last remarks and invite people to be part of the 15th World Youth Skills Day.
Yes, thank you so much, moderator, for this opportunity, first of all, to be here and inform the world about the skills, World Skills Day, and also the International Day of Education, that we are going to have a conference. It is branded, physical and online. So on the 15th and the 16th, we are going to be at the conference hall at the president's office, and it's going to be, though on invitation, 400.
Invite only.
Yes, 400 are going to fit there,
Okay.
but all the others will be online.
Wow.
So we are going to share the links where you can join. That one is unlimited.
Wow.
Yes, so I want to encourage you to join us still through that online system. You can give us your idea. You can give us and tell us the challenges that you meet over there in the way of promoting TVET. But more importantly, we ask you, to wherever you are, when you stand in a church, in a conference, in a wherever function, talk about TVET, because skills training is the only way to reduce unemployment, to improve our enterprises, and also grow the economy for this country.
Okay. Thanks so much. Harriet, your last remarks.
Thank you so much, moderator. I also want to encourage viewers to join the link on the Youth Skills Day, so that they understand more about vocational training. Feel free also to contact me via WhatsApp, or you can call me, but at least WhatsApp, you are sure that I will answer your question immediately on my number 0774 959 635. I can say it again, 0774 959